Okay. Good morning. Welcome you all to this design thinking and innovation skill module for 6th to 12th standard and orientation session. On behalf of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, AICT and CBSE, I welcome Professor Ravi Poovaiah sir, Professor from IIT Bombay, Ms. Rupa Chakraborty, Director Education, Suncity, Gurgaon, and Dr. Hairsh from Director Birla School, Qatar. And I welcome all the participants who have been joined for this program on a weekend. I can see more than 350 plus participants have joined for this program. So on behalf of Ministry, AICT, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, and CBSE, I welcome you all for this program. Today we'll have 4 sessions. First, myself, Dr. Ilangovan, I'll be addressing about innovation initiatives for schools. And second, Professor Ravi Poovaiah sir, Rupa ma'am, and Hairsh will be addressing on that. So quickly, I'll take 10 minutes of your time, and I take this opportunity for conveying about the innovation initiatives for school, creating the culture of innovation in school. Ministry of Education had initiated School Innovation Council, School Innovation Ambassador Training Program, and Design Thinking module. In brief, I'll take a few minutes to brief about SIC, SIATP, and National Policy for Promoting Innovation in School. So you all aware that School Innovation Council has been launched on 1st July 2022. Our Foremost Secretary School Education Anita Karwal ma'am and the CBSE chairperson had launched this program along with Dr. Abhay Jare and my team member are there, and Dr. Anil Shastrabudhe sir. So I'm sure many of the schools who have joined today would be part of the School Innovation Council. If not, I request you to join the School Innovation Council and be part of the journey of this innovation initiative to promote the culture of innovation among school education. In turn, this culture is being taken to higher education institution and it to further level. So this formation of School Innovation Council is, I can say, an half-an-hour process where the school executive representatives will be there, teacher, social media coordinator, student representative, and external expert member will be there. So executive representative, the chairman of the school or the principal, the convener can be the senior teacher member, and the teacher representatives, students, and the external expert member will be always the industry expert who have been connected to your school. Either they can be the parents of your school or your colleagues, no family member who is working in industry to make sure that they handhold you in the journey. So next is about the 360-degree of school innovation program. This is the main part which I want to take some time to brief about you. If you take this 360-degree, first off is where we are trying to create the awareness on ideation, innovation aspects. So more we want to create a foundation aspect for the school teachers and the students, which in turn helps them from the ideation, prototype, business model, and the demonstration of this. I want to convey you that we are part of many school teachers are part of the School Innovation Ambassador Training Program, and we have introduced Design Thinking Skill module. We want to create a foundation at school levels about innovation, and also we want to make sure that the students go for a field visit, then identify an idea. We have developed a video which shows how to identify an idea, then to how to make those idea into prototype, then make a business model convert, then we will be funding you to develop those product and demonstrate at the national level. This is what we are trying to do through School Innovation Council. I request the school teachers, principals who are there, not part of this program, to join this School Innovation Program and handhold your students and teachers to develop a product and promote more innovation and startup in the country. So we will be handholding you in the every process. This is the journey of innovation, school innovation contest. You submit your idea, then we'll be screening it to the prototype model. Then we will help you in handholding it, how to develop a business module for that. Then we'll help support you with funding up to 2 lakh rupees for developing a product. Then we'll be exhibiting those products at a national level in Delhi. So far we have 2,800 plus school innovation council established in the country, across the country. This is a practice which we have initiated with the successful implementation of this at the Institute Innovation Council. For higher educations, we have done this for past 4 years. We have been successful with 6,500 plus initiatives which they have been made. And no, there are lakhs of initiatives which are training programs which has been conducted by different higher education institutions. A few lakhs of students and teachers have been trained this initiative. We want to create the same culture in the higher education, in the school education systems actually. The School Innovation Ambassador Program, you are aware that on 16 July, we have launched this program. Honorable Minister of Education have been launched this program, and we have been very successful today. It's in 5 module. Today, as on today, 15,274 teachers have been completed this training program, and 11,890 schools have registered, and 62,194 school teachers have been registered. I'm happy to share this occasion and also want to convey you that more than say like 5,000 teachers have completed 4 modules out of the 62,000, and 1 module they are not completed. Now your vacation is starting. I request you to complete that 5th module and become the School Innovation Ambassador. So you are becoming an ambassador of Ministry of Education, and in your school you are a School Innovation Ambassador. So you will be promoting the school, you will be handholding it, we will be providing special trainings to you, and you will be mentoring, guiding the students. So these are the statistics of school innovation ambassadors across the country. Next, about the national policy for promoting innovation in schools. We have been launched this on 18th November 22. We are trying to change the mindset of the student, teachers, and the parents to concentrate more on innovation aspect. We are creating the infrastructure of mentoring and nurturing on innovation. We want to incentivize the teachers who are been doing good in this innovation aspect. Also want to convey you that CBSE had made a 50 hours mandatory training for all the teachers. If you have completed the School Innovation Ambassador program, that 50-hour training has been part of this program. So we are trying to collaborate with higher education institution. We are trying to make the school to collaborate with nearby startup and create this culture. This is what we are trying to promote through this policy. Design thinking module, I'll just take only 2 minutes or a minute about it, because our expert stalwarts of the domain are here who will be taking on this. So I'm happy and proud to say that we are the first country in the world to introduce design thinking skill module at the school level. And with the support of the experts of today program, Professor Ravi Poovaiah sir, chairman of the committee, and we have Rupa Chakraborty ma'am, Hairsh sir, and many more other experts who have been past 1.5 years, every Friday morning between 9:30 to 11, they have been discussing and develop this content to make sure that it benefits more number of students and faculty members of the country. And all these materials are available and access to you on the portal. These are previous workshops which we conducted in 5-6 states physically. We may be coming back to few more states to conduct a physical workshop. Today we are conducting this online program to make sure that we may not be able to reach all the states across the country. We had few doubts which the teachers added, so we want to clarify during today's program. So this is about registration of School Innovation Council. Just log into it. Very user-friendly portal which has been developed, which all the user manuals guidelines are there. Register it and make sure that you also be part of the School Innovation Council program. Then similarly, we are more importantly, I want to highlight here at this point that for every activity once you do, we request you to upload a report. It takes 10 minutes of your time. Take a snapshot or take a photograph in your mobile phone, and just enter a data, how many students, teachers, how many male students have been participated in the program. That helps to consolidate us, and you will also be aware how many students have been part of this program. In this School Innovation Council, as I said earlier, once you log in, there will be a leadership talk by a young entrepreneur, motivation talk about how to become an innovator. Then we have how to develop an idea, how to develop a prototype, how to develop a product and business model. Complete handholding is there. You just log into it, and each videos we have made 15-20 minutes of time, and then a Q&A session which will clarify a lot of your doubts. You can play those videos in your schools during weekends or in the free time, and make sure that the students are aware of this. This is a let's say portal where you want to upload. It just take, as I said earlier, it takes only 10 minutes of time, 2 photographs, and the detail of students and faculties who have been participated in. This is again similar line of innovation ambassador program. I said 5 module design thinking into IPR, idea generation and handholding, product development, prototype, finance, sales, HR. This is a 5 module. It's an all addressed by an industry expert who have been in this domain for quite some time. So I would request you all to join, be part of this program. The today we will have a session, complete video about how to take this design thinking skill module to your classes, been available on our portal, design thinking portal. It's an 6-7 hours of session. You can always module wise is there. You can just go through it. It will get a clarity if you have any doubt on it. This is a portal, sia.mic.gov.in/dti-module. Once you log in into it, 6th, 7th, 8th, up to 12th grade, all the content are available in the Word and PPT format. So, Professor, I thank Professor Ravi sir and the team. Whatever content they have developed, just straight away access to you. You can download this content. Now it's available in the Word format and PPT format. Previously, it was available in the PDF format. So I want to convey you that you can download it. Just you can replicate and use it. You can add some of the case studies connected within your region or with the subjects which you are handling, and you can take it to your students in the way you want to handle it. It's a portal of 5-10 minutes it takes. You can register your school on this portal, and all the notification circulars will be available there. As I said earlier, this is in this portal. Frequently asked questions are there, which few questions many teachers ask that, and task books, exposure slides, teacher manuals, task upload by students, and data submission. This is the portal which he has. So just register into it, download all the content in the Word format, as I said earlier, and all the slides. You can just use that, present it, and our professor will give detail about it, and also upload the best projects on the portal and give a data of how many teachers and students have been participating in this program. What we are trying to do through this journey through Ministry of Education Innovation Cell and AICT is we are trying to build a grassroots and innovation ecosystem, consolidating the facility resource available in higher education and connected to the school education. We want to create and innovate ideas to start up and create many more unicorns of the country. What we have done or what we have achieved for past 7 years in the Global Innovation Index, we are standing at 40th position today. 7 years back, we were at the 81st position. I am happy to convey the growth of innovation in the country. Every individual contribution makes our country into stand in a better position. At this occasion, I request you all to contribute as much as possible to make our country stand in a better position. Also, I request at this occasion that you can motivate in your schools. We have many awards. We conduct sports days. We conduct best performing students. Similarly, I want you to give an award for innovative ideas. So it can be any kind of awards which you can decide at the school level to motivate the students to bring in it. This is my team, Dr. Sonal and Dr. Pooja for Region 1 and Region 2. Dr. Pooja will be coordinating, and Region 3 and 4, Dr. Sonal will be coordinating with you. So this is a brief about it. We have a Telegram group for teachers and the single point of contact at the schools. If you are not part of this, please join the group and get the regular updates on the program. Any doubt, please feel free to contact us on the schoolinnovation@aict-india.org. With this brief, thank you all for joining this session. Now I request Professor Ravi Poovaiah sir, professor from IIT Bombay, to give a brief introduction about design thinking and innovation. So any Q&A, question and answer, we'll take it at last. Professor Ravi Poovaiah sir, I request you to share your PPT and start the session, sir.
Okay, so yeah, big thank you to Dr. Ellen Goen and his team, Dr. Poo, who's behind the scenes. You for being present here on a fine Saturday morning. Yeah, so I'm going to introduce the module to you, what we have been doing and what's the thinking behind it. Let me just share the screen. Just 1 minute.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. You can
It's
go ahead, sir.
visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now his first slide is there, sir. Design Thinking and Innovation School. You can make it full screen, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
made the
perfect.
full screen. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
just want to
It's,
know if it's moving.
yes,
Yeah,
you can change next slide, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Perfect, sir. It's moving, sir.
Okay.
It's moving, sir. You
Thank,
can go
thanks.
ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Ellen. So I'm going to do an introduction to what we've been doing. Basically, trying to understand the rationale behind what we've been doing. It all started quite a long time back with our interest in design and innovation, trying to implement it in schools. And really, the NEP 2020 was the move for it because it identified two things. It identified, 21st century skills, out of which creativity, critical thinking, innovation were part of it, and that came to pushing this forward by forming a committee to develop this as a curriculum for schools. That's the story behind it. Uh, so I'm just going to give you a broad outline of this here. If you look here, in the center, you have the design thinking and innovation module. Basically, it comprises of the students or the children doing tasks, okay, which are different tasks and through which they learn how to solve problems and how to become innovative. For this, there is not really a textbook. What we do is that we give them exposures on different things, which are examples of good design process. And in the process, they've learned certain tools which are useful for critical thinking and problem solving. And they also learn both the critical thinking as well as the design thinking process. Both of them lead to creativity and innovation, which I think fundamentally very important aspects for a child to uh, uh, be enabled. And how do we do it? We create the content, and that's on the left side. The experts, this committee has contributed to it, but we've constantly had feedback from teachers who have actually got children to make use of it, and that feedback has made us redo the content and make it better. And on the right side, we have this big task because we need enthusiastic teachers like you to come forward and implement this in the schools. To enable that, we are holding workshops and training some teachers, which are hoping that those teachers will train other teachers. And we also have a teacher's manual, which is a detailed version of the content, which will kind of guide you through how to implement it. So this is how we are trying to do it. And if you look at design, it's very visual in nature. So you have tasks which become the output. So, the interesting part is that you can actually hold exhibitions maybe at the end of the course or end of the year or end of the semester. That's something which others can come and see. Okay, and also it's possible to put these as portfolios online. And as Dr. Ellen just said, the Innovation Council is also making a place in its portal so that you can upload good work. And how do you access the content for this? It's online, as you've seen. Main is the task books, which define what the students need to do. Of course, if you don't have good internet connections, you can print them as books. You can access them as PDFs, and also you can access them on multiple devices. So this is how the framework of the curriculum is. I'll go a bit detail into what we are trying to do. Okay, so we have slightly modified the typical design thinking process to make it much more comfortable and easy for students to understand. So the first stage, we call it as observation, which basically, researching about the subject, going, conversing with the users, going to the place where the problem is. It's the study part of it. The next part is trying to understand it. This is where the critical thinking comes in, where you actually connect different things, analyze it, you try to understand the problem much better. And the third part is the very creative part of it, which is basically ideating and trying to create, either creative or innovative solutions. So you explore, experiment. That's really a very fascinating stage for the children. And then the next stage is actually once you have an idea and you shortlist an idea, you can actually do a prototype of it, give it a form. You can get feedback out of that. That's the reflection part of it. People will comment on it and you become, good at this whole process. So basically what it does is that it tells you that a process can be involved in trying to create something. So students will get this ability to identify problems and solve it. It can be in any field, even if they become lawyers or engineers or doctors, at the back of their mind, they'll have the design thinking process in mind and they can apply it to any profession. So, if you look at it overall, the whole country will benefit from this. So this is how we have put in the deliverables. You can see that on the left side is the design thinking process, which has got integrated into the curriculum. And the outputs that we have is an introduction book with a free, FAQs. We have slide exposures, which are there as PPTs and PDFs. You can modify them, you can add to it. Then we have these task books, which also have the assessment and feedback in it. Task books are there for every grade. Okay, so, mm, okay, and then there is the teacher's manual, okay, which is a detailed version of it. And the task book has further modules in it. Yeah, and you can get this also at the CBSE website and at the Innovation Council website. This is how we went about building the content for it. First, we discussed the lesson plans. We put in the overall, overview vision to it, set in what are the competencies that we want to build in the students, learning objectives, and map it also with the sustainability development goals, which ended up as modules and sub-modules. And also alongside it, we also build the exposure as well as the task and the references that useful to in terms of problem solving. And then we build the assessment criteria as well as the matrix plus feedback forms. Also parallelly, we are also doing the teacher's manual. And as we said, it can, output can be exhibited, it can become portfolios, this becomes validation of the work. And some of the good works will become online documentation and leads on to the next one. So there's a little bit of rethinking you need to do in terms of what happens within the classroom atmosphere, because it's very experiential, do it and learn. So a bit of, dirting happens around, but one can clean it up. Okay, and these are extremely playful, joyful experiences. We've seen that students, when they get involved in this problem solving process, they really don't want to, go home, or they don't actually realize that the time is up. Okay, and that's because it's a very involved problem solving, and we also encourage students to work together, collaborate, cooperate, and try to solve problem students. So you need to make the classrooms more like a studio space, where students can sit around a table, because it's not one teacher and so many students listening, but it's a group of students trying to solve problems, and the teacher is a mentor trying to enable this activity. So we don't have textbooks, we have exposures to this particular subject, and you can pick up problems which are very contextual around your surroundings. That's the best part of it, because it becomes much more direct in terms of solving problems. And there is a lot of exploration, experimenting, and creativity involved in this. So the typical, 40 minutes is really not suitable. So we encourage you to join up 3 of those. So you get a 2-hour module instead of a 40-minute small class. So this is the broader viewpoint of it. If you look at it, we want to start from India, but the students need to get a international perspective. So go from local to go global. Same, starting from self, they have to end up at looking at the issues with the whole humanity itself. So you go from self to family to society to public to community and humanity. This is how the tasks are solved. So class 6 probably it's much more about yourself, and when you come to 12 you're actually looking at global issues. We also made the focus change from just humans to all life on earth, that we actually respect this aspect of it. Again, the last 500 years we made the whole world quite unsustainable, and we have to realize that it is very important to think of sustainability as part of any problem solving. And of course, learn both the critical thinking and the design thinking process. And another outcome of this is that the design thinking process can lead the students into getting interested in creative industries. You know, that's part of the thing. But if you learn the design thinking process, you can actually apply it to any field. Okay, and what were the overall vision and objectives of that? Explore students' sensory, cognitive, and social abilities. They'll be good observers. They discover, they try to analyze, critically think about it. Okay, they collaborate, nurture their curiosity and exploratory abilities. Um, Foster creativity and innovation in students, identify problems and be able to solve them, apply critical as well as design thinking process to solve various problems, and also learn the fundamentals of creative design discipline. Okay, so this is how it looks. We have an exposure module of around 18 hours in 6th, 7th, 8th, and it becomes like any other regular module of about 160 hours in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. This is how it is. We've also mapped it onto the NEP 2020 objectives. So if you look at the overview visions, I just talked about it, and we want to bring in competencies like observation skills, communication skills, sensitivity to design, critical thinking and design thinking, being able to think of creative options, problem solving, and trying to build prototypes. And we've also matched it to some of the SDG goals here. So if you look at it from 6th, it's from focus into exposure and discovery. It goes into fostering creativity and problem solving in the 10th standard, trying to look at different options and solving problems collaboratively together, and applying this totally in the 12th standard. So it kind of slowly builds up, and you start from simple problems to slightly more complex problems as you go up. Okay, so this is an overview of just the 6th, 7th, 8th, task books. So it has, for example, fundamentals of design and story creation, then to transitions of form to, basic photography for documentation, product forms and sketching, then the basic design process where you take up a problem around your school and try to solve it. So if you look at it on the pink ones, right? Story of your ideas for future in the palm of yours, design shadow puppets and enact it out. You can do transitions from one form to another, maybe letter A to Z, or a cat to dog, and try to do it in either 2 dimension or 3 dimensions. Here we've given a problem of sundials, so they have to design a portable sundial. Okay, and they actually look at problems just in the school, and then they do it. And we've increased the complexity when it comes to seventh. For example, the problem is they just go outside the school. So they look at footpaths, those issues, and see if they can solve problems there. In the 8th standard, it becomes a little more. They look at a public space, like, for example, a market or a station nearby the school, and they look at problems and try to solve problems. So 6th, 7th, 8th is really an exposure module. The students can either take it at 6th or 7th or 8th. It's optional. Or if some student is really gets interested in design, he can continuously take it from 6th, 7th, 8th, because the tasks are different, though the topics are the same. you know. And in the ninth standard, you get into a little more detail, and we have a lot of time because it's, as against this, sorry, it's 160 hours. So you have photography mainly for documentation, fundamentals of 2D design. Then you get into the first part of the design process, which is observation. Then you come to the next semester, you have sketching for ideation, fundamentals of 3D design, and then you get into the second stage of the design process, basically analysis of the problem. And in the 10th standard, you get into fundamentals of animation, that's moving images, fundamentals of story creation, how to write creative stories, introduction to creativity, and then you solve a creative problem. And in the next semester, again, very important fundamentals of communication, sustainability and design, and basic prototyping skills. And then you do a design thinking process project at the end of it. So when it comes to 11th standard, they get into disciplines of design, which are, for example, you solve a publication design problem, you try to make a video film, you try to look at information visualization, you do a communication design project at the end of the semester. Then you start with product design, digital design, game and toy design. Very interesting. It's always so involving to try to build a game or a toy. And then they try to do a product design, problem solving at the end of it. And they also learn the basis of how to start a enterprise. Okay. And in 12th standard, basically you look at problems from different point of views. You do a personal space design, you do a social space design, that's something for the society. Third is you do something in the environmental space, meant for public spaces. We also have an introduction to the Indian knowledge systems, how you can make use of it in solving problems. And the last semester is basically they try to do a capstone project, which is over 4 months, and we've defined different parts of it. And they have to make a presentation as well as a report at the end of it. And we are expecting that a teacher from another school will come and evaluate this particular project and give comments on it. So that's a roughly overview of it. And as Dr. Ellen said, all these are available on the web space. You can download it both in PPT and Word form. Word form basically because you can make your own annotations and comments on it. Okay, so if you look at just the projects itself, 6th, 7th, 8th, we said it's around the school environment, just the environment outside the school and the public space outside, further outside the school. In ninth standard, you look at waste generated in the school and redesign of objects or artifacts in the primary classroom. These problems can be changed from year to year. This is for starting. 10th grade, you look at, design for public concerns and sustainability and environmental issues. In the 11th grade, you have communication design problems and how to do a startup. Then you have a product design, again, a startup or an enterprise over there. Look at problem solving from different spaces. And the last one is the semester long capstone project. Okay. Grading, Harish sir is going to talk a lot more on this. But what we've done is that basically we wanted the students to always be encouraged. So there is no fail grade. Even the lowest grade is the beginning. You can give them. Next is developing, promising, proficient, excellent, and outstanding. This is mainly to encourage students and have a good feel factor about it. Even because the design as a subject is new, we have created a rubrics. Okay, more on this again, Harisa will talk about. So basically, you have to see if it fits into different criteria and then do the grading. So I'm just going to, end this introduction section with some of the regular questions that we have. We don't have textbooks. These are task or workbooks, which define what tasks the students have to do. We also encourage combining of, small, modules into a 2 hour or a 3 hour session. In fact, the 6th, 7th, 8th is only 12 hours at school and 6 hours at home. So those 12 hours could be 4 Saturdays with 3 hours. you know I mean, you have to see how conveniently you can do your scheduling in the school. uh, uh, ratio of work and school to home is 2:1. So that means, like, in the first 3 years, 18 hours is the total time. 12 hours they spend at in the school, and 6 hours they spend working on the problems at home. It's totally based on learning objectives, activities, outcomes, and evaluation criteria. It's a very important thing because the tasks and the evaluation are based on this. How much of access to technology is important? We've done such that even if you don't have computers or computing facilities, you can solve all the problems. Okay, of course, if you have them, it makes it easier, okay, and convenient. But typically, you can solve all these problems without the use of computer totally. You know, can you make use of the tasks interesting? That's our important thing, and we've seen that if the tasks are important in is inspiring and interesting, the students get totally involved in it. And our resolve is to try to set new problems every year. And assessment is based totally on the task. And even the final exam is a task-based examination. So they have to solve a problem and they're evaluated on this. Of course, this constraint one is a big issue for us, how to make the curriculum suited for disinterested teachers, because design cannot be taught by teachers if they're not interested in the subject. So that's something that we need to be very conscious of. Okay, and of course, somewhere at some point in time, the coaching classes are going to come, and somebody else is going to help them do finish the task at home. So how do we actually, you know, uh, you know, tackle that problem? Okay, so how can you help us? You can give us reviews. Okay, that would be great, because it will help us improve it. You can also help us develop content for it. Okay, so you can suggest new tasks and things like that. Okay, if you try out the tasks with the students and give us feedback, nothing like it. Yeah, so that is a very important thing. And of course, this is a new subject. And if you ask me, the a lot of decision making for children are the parents. So we have this big task of trying to convince the parents that this is an important subject, and it has large ramifications for the child, in terms of creativity and innovation. And of course, if you ask me, in the last 15 years, there's been a big growth of the design schools in our country, from being just about 10 to 15 schools. The numbers have gone up to almost around 400 schools now, which offer graduate level programs. Okay, so and the creative industry is actually growing to be a very big industry in our country, so that's definitely a viable option for the students. I have to thank all these members of our team, Abhay Jere, Professor Mitre, Harish Sanduja sir, Prajakta Kulkarni, Rupa ma'am, and another Rupa Narayan. Of course, the team from CBSE, as well as the team from Indian Innovation Council. Yeah, and many teachers who are part of the program. Okay, so that's the introduction. I'll just run you through one set of slides. Okay, so this is something which you can add or do it. So this is a slide on the what is design. So it's an interactive slide. Okay, and then you show them different things which have design in them and discuss about, does it have design, a piece of furniture, a kettle, a sports car, a logo, even the Amul campaign. So it looks like somebody has done something to make it actually usable, right? And understandable. So you can think of many things. User is important. The form and shape and how it works is important. Creativity and innovation is important for design. The process of how you solve a problem is important. Okay, then you ask this question. For example, if you want idlis of different sizes, you have to design, containers which can cook in different sizes, right? If you want a small idli, you need a design idli stand designed to make small. Or for example, if you want to make better use of the space, either you can put the bed under the bed or you can put it over the bed. Yeah, so this is how design is. And then which are the basic elements of design, the lines, the shape, the form, texture, and color. And each one has different connotations. Single one, it creates focus. Random dots create confusion. Dot in the correct place is beautiful, but in the wrong place can be utterly so different. You can see dots in, constellations and other things. Line, has different connotations. Moving dot actually gives rise to a line. There are different kind of lines. For example, a curved line is soft, straight lines can be active, parallel lines can be orderly, surface lines can denote transition, textured lines crisscrossing each other can create confusion. So they're getting into slightly into expressions, and now we show simple applications of this. Just the shape of the line can make it happy to sad, right? Vertical lines can make a place look taller. Okay, people stand in a line to make it orderly. A zigzag line can make it look very adventurous, right? So this is how you start using simple things. The shape also has similar connotations. If you look at it, yeah, circles to sphere, that's 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. It gives you a cube, cylinder, and a cone. And of course, they also have very interesting properties. And shapes, we denote logos to patterns to things like that. And you can have it from organic to geometric, realistic to abstract, complex to simple, dynamic to stable. So these are again very simple things. Color, for example, you have primary colors, you mix them, you get secondary colors, and they're also mapped to the environment. So you have the warm colors, like in a country like ours, we have so much of warm colors, so that's why it's very reflective. And you have the cold colors, cold places have cold colors. Yeah, textures is also important. Yeah, all kinds of textures, and you can also have expressions on them. Yeah, and this is the acknowledgement to this. Okay, I'm just going to take 1 minute to just run you through the task book. Yeah, so this is how the class 6 task book looks. This is the content of it. We have the overview which we saw there, which will also tell you the kind of task which you have to do. We have an introduction, what is designer, who's a designer, what is design thinking, who's a design thinker, what is the design thinking process. Okay, so these are all into what is innovation, and this we just saw what is the overall vision. Then we come to the different modules in this. What is the overall vision, objectives, competencies, matching of SDG goals, and also the evaluation matrix here. Okay, and that you can actually make a presentation of this. This is the introduction to the first class. Okay, introduction to elements of design and storytelling. So it has two tasks in it, and there's an output of it. Everything is very, clearly defined here. We have the introduction to the subject, aims of the module, okay, place where it can be done, okay, grouping what it suggested, okay, and the materials that the students would need, the exposure which are available as PPTs, the task sequence and how much time one can spend on this, okay, what part of the design process is involved and what aspects of SDG goals are mapped. So it defines the, creating an imaginary puppet character using basic shapes. It shows you the, A3 size paper, which can be cut and made into it. Okay, and then it says that you have to write a story about it. It's done as a class collaborative thing, and they have to enact it out at the end of it. Okay, and home exercise is you draw the outline of your palm, and your vision of the world is shown in that. Okay, and then reflection points. There are some questions which will ask questions about what they've done. There's also a small portion on self-assessment. The children can actually self-assess themselves. There are further references here. and like this. So it goes into the second chapter, third chapter, like that. Okay, so I just wanted to give a glimpse of it. Of course, you can go and download these and have a look at it. And this is roughly how the assessment matrix looks like. This is for the first one, and they are very nicely subcategorized. These are there at the end of the task book. Okay, Harish sir is going to tell more about this. We've also kept a feedback form for the students as well as the teachers here. Okay, so this is how it ends here with the credits to the whole team. Yeah. So that's an introduction to the subject from me. I'll take questions later on. Okay, thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Ravi, sir, for sparing your quality time on Saturday. 560 plus teachers are there. I'm sure it would have been useful to them. I can see a few teachers are sitting in their boardrooms. 5, 10 teachers are sitting together and listening to the session. I'm very sure that Professor would have given you a brief introduction about design thinking module. So we, as Professor said, we'll take a question and answer session at last. Thank you, Professor, once again on behalf of Ministry of Education, CBSE, and AICT. Thanks for addressing to the
You're
participants.
welcome, Alan. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Harish Sanduja, sir, Academic Director, Birla Public School, Qatar. Sir, I welcome you and welcome you for this program. I request you to address the participants on assessment of design thinking skill module. Sir, thanks for your time, sir, and joining from Qatar. So it's always a time zone. It's a challenge for you. You always make it available for the benefit of the teachers community. And thanks for your continuous support for past 2 years in developing this module and helping us conducting the workshop at the different states. Sir, Dr. Harisher, I request you to address the participant now.
Thank you, Dr. Almiron, and thank you, Ravi sir. I'm just quickly going to share my screen so that you all are able to get what I'm trying to share.
Yes, sir.
So
It's visible,
my
sir. You can
presentation,
go ahead, sir.
my presentation is going to be around 20 minutes, and I'm going to quickly share what is the design thinking that we are looking at. Because design thinking brings a lot of new solutions to different problems that we see around us. And one of the most important thing is that why we should be teaching design thinking and innovation. When we were all contemplating about it, we realized that children are given an opportunity to think independently on their own in a very methodical way with the help of design thinking. Otherwise, what happens is we are very dictatorial while teaching children or while telling them to study. We tell them, okay, you study physics, you study chemistry, you study language, you study this and that. But what is it that they want to do? That is generally not asked. So design thinking is a very good thing to push children, one, to start them to think on their own and to teach them how to think. So it leads to a very organized way of developing critical thinking and problem solving skills. Now, we always keep on saying that 21st century skills are required. Now, 21st century skills are required for sure, but then how do we develop them? Now, if I keep teaching something where I tell the child that this is the book, and in this book, this is where the content is, and this is what you need to memorize, and therefore you need to be assessed on this, then what happens finally is that the child will never develop the ability to ask questions as well as think on their own independently. Whereas design thinking gives us a very good platform where we can teach children to critically think and solve problems. So that's why this is a very amazing subject. Now it is being offered by CBSE, as Professor Sir has already told us, that from grade 6 onwards, and in fact it is one of the subjects which goes all the way from schools to university. So if you see, the outcomes of design thinking are that the students will become good observers. They will learn the right questions, how to ask them, and also how to see trends rather than incidents. Sometimes what happens is we start reacting to incidents. Many a times in our lives, we start reacting to incidents. Whereas what we should do is we should actually look at whether if this incident is trying to become a trend. If it is becoming a trend, we need to analyze whether it's a good trend or a bad trend. If it is a bad trend, then we need to stop it. If it is a good trend, we need to encourage it. So we have to be clear about this. Then the learning of the methodology that is there, how to solve a problem and how to have various people engaged in the same process, and then do some discussions, take the different points of views and try to come up with a good solution of the problem. Because once you have different views, you start looking at a problem from different points of views, because sometimes it may happen that for one point it may be for one person it may be a problem, but for other person it may be a solution. So that depends upon where or who the user is. So therefore, it is extremely important that the children amongst themselves should get into the habit of looking at some things from a different point of view. Now, for looking at something from a different point of view, it is essential that they start listening. If they don't listen, then they will never be able to take a point of view from others. So that is critical. So what we do in design thinking is, I'm just going to give you a small task that is generally used to train teachers. So one of the tasks that we use very often is this, that make a toy that can be used to learn a particular concept or an experience, and then it should be a demonstratable toy. Now, the question that is asked to people is that you have to construct this toy, and while designing the toy, how you are going to construct it, what will be the final outcome in which the toy will be used, how the experience of the user will be, and how you are going to demonstrate this particular toy. So starting all the way from designing a toy to what concept you are trying to teach through that toy, and then how the experience of the user is going to be, and the final demonstration of, obviously, you are going to put it up. So if this is a question which is given to the teachers, imagine this is something which you would also like to do it in the class, then how are you going to assess people? Because it is very critical that you assess them in the right manner. So assessment is a part of design thinking. So what we have done here is that we have developed the rubrics for the assessment. So if you are a beginner, if you are a person who is developing thoughts into design thinking, if you are a promising beginner, and if you are a proficient person in design thinking, and if you are an excellent person in design thinking. So these are the 5 categories. And then how your concept is being delivered through that toy. Supposing the toy was the task that you have to make to deliver certain concept. So how is the concept being delivered through that toy? What is the experience of that concept, and how the demonstration of the toy was happening? So these are separate 3 levels on which you will be assessing. So what happens is that if you go by the initial beginner level, then the learning objective of the concept may not be met. Means the person may be just a beginner and they might not be able to understand that the toy that they're trying to make and the concept that they are trying to deliver through the toy, that may not be matching. So the person is just a beginner. But sometimes the concept that they're trying to deliver is to a certain extent being shown by the toy that they are trying to showcase or make. Similarly, if the concept is met to a moderate extent, then the person is considered to be a promising person. Similarly, if the concept is met to a fair extent, then we say that the person is proficient. And if all the learning concepts that you had in your head and you were targeting and you were able to meet that by the toy, then I think the person has gone to the highest level of excellent achievement. Similarly, the experience concept means, is the toy being experienced in the same manner by different people, or the experience is different for different people? And is the experience pretty difficult to feel, or is the experience is similar and easy to go through? And at the same time, the demonstration of the toy. How is the demonstration? Does the demonstration work or not? Sometimes the demonstration may not work. Sometimes it may work with errors. Sometimes it may work with full perfection. If it does work with perfection, then obviously the person has achieved the highest level. Now, this is something which happens. So what we need to do is, we need to technically think at 5 different levels, that at a particular assessment criteria, whether that particular assessment criteria was not present at all, was it present to certain extent, was it present to a moderate extent, and was it present to a very fair extent, and was it completely present? Okay, so this is an extremely important uh, thing for us to categorize and analyze the children, and then we will be able to get this particular assessment clear. Now, while we are trying to analyze, we should also have some clarity that the learning concept that we were trying to deliver, was it vague? Was it theoretically closer to the concept that you were trying to teach, or is it is the toy meeting the concept completely? So what happens is, I just need to share another slide. So let me just share another piece of slide with you. Yeah. So the various parameters that I feel that while we are trying to assess a child who has made something, then one, was the making easy? When the children bring things, then as a teacher and as an assessor, you have to understand whether the making was easy, whether the making was complex, or whether the making was highly technical. Sometimes you may see that if the making is easy, then everyone will be able to do it. But if it is highly technical, then everyone may not be able to do it. Sometimes making it easy is a good thing, and sometimes making, if it is easy, is a bad thing also. So you will have to judge at that particular time, because if a very technical concept has been explained by a very easy making toy, then it's a very good thing. But sometimes a very technical concept being demonstrated by a very easy making toy, which may not be actually fulfilling the criteria, therefore then it will become bad. So what you will have to see is that how the making was, then what were the material used by the children? Was the material easily available? Was it not easily available? Was it specifically ordered from somewhere? So all these things you will have to take into your own assessment process. Then, was the design innovative, or was it very basic, or was it some complex design, or was it a very highly skilled design that only few people can do it, not all? So we need to understand, when the children make things, we need to answer these questions before we actually give a tick mark on a particular part of the rubric. So this sheet is also a additional sheet which helps you how you are going to fill that particular rubric and assess the children, and whether the concept or the learning objective was being met. If it was being met, then how? The scientific or the technical objective through the experience of toy, was it vaguely defined? Or was it very specific? Or was it a very good concept that was coming through that particular concept, design of the toy? Similarly, was the experience of all the children same, or was it experience different? And the last but not the least is that sometimes when the children grow older, initially from 6, 7, 8, we may not look into it, but due course, we definitely want the children to understand the business objectives of demonstration also. Like whenever you are doing a problem solving, finally you may have to explain it to people. Are you confident enough, and are you presenting it in the right manner, or you are having clarity about your demonstration or not? So all these things become very, very important. So, in fact, I remember the example someone was giving to me of Steve Jobs, that when he used to make a presentation before the launch of any of the Apple products when he was there, I'm told that he used to do a practice for hours for a 10 or a 15 minutes demonstration that he would do, so that that practice would give him exact words and exact ideas that he wanted to convey to the people. And this finally becomes a great business opportunity. And it also becomes a great opportunity to showcase yourself also. So I would like to emphasize that whenever we are teaching design thinking to children, these are the aspects which are essential for showcasing what we want them to learn in this process. And assessment becomes the most critical part of design thinking. And when we are assessing, I must say that please, as school teachers and as innovation ambassadors and as school leaders, maybe if you are a principal, please try to incorporate a page in the report card about how the child was performing in the design thinking process, because this is the only opportunity that you have for developing and documenting the critical thinking and the innovative skills of the children. Because in no other subject you are actually doing a critical thinking and innovative and problem solving skills of the children highly documentable, whereas this subject gives you those 21st century skills, how you can document it. See, at the end of the day, you may be trying to solve or trying to develop problem solving skills or critical thinking skill through mathematics, through English, through other subjects. That is great. But here the real life problems will come. And here the real life problems and solutions posed by the children will come, which will be very original in nature. And hence, if we are documenting it and sharing it with the parents, it will be a game changer in many ways. And as a country, I think we will become a better country, because there will be more people who can observe the problems around them and then look at what is the solution for these problems. And therefore, whatever we are right now saying, at times when we look at the newspaper or in the news and all, then we have very few problem solvers as compared to the people who are observers and not solving the problem, or the comments that keep coming from various aspects. So this is what I had to share with all of you. I hope it will make sense. The presentations that we shared will definitely be made available to you uh, in the with the help of Alan Goan sir, and you will be having all this data. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Hairsh, sir, for addressing the participants. As you said, this subject is going to be a game changer, and it will help the students to know more design thinking, problem solving, and critical thinking, and enhance their skill. And they can also incorporate all these things in their all the subjects. Design thinking is not an alone for an individual subject. It's a subject which can be implemented in all the subjects with that. So thank you, Hairsh sir. Thanks for joining the session. Now with this part, I want to call a English teacher, a senior English teacher, director of Suncity School, Gurgaon. So, where an English teacher is going to demonstrate you how the design thinking can be taught to the student, and she is fantastic in her addressing and very commanding. She taught how to use vowels and how to teach vowels using design thinking. So, Ma'am Rupa Chakraborty, ma'am, with this occasion, on behalf of everyone, I welcome you for this program, and I request you to address the participants on introduction to design thinking on the teacher's manual. Ma'am, the platform is open to you now, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ellen Govan, and namaste to everybody. I hope you've been having a very, very fruitful session, because these are stalwarts who have spoken to you. Dr. Ravi Poovaiah is from IIT Mumbai. He is with the School of Design. So he is somebody who, of course, will know a lot more than a person like me about design thinking. But before we begin with design thinking, I want to ask each one of you, what do you think is design thinking? Of course, Mr. Hairsh Sanduja has told you about how the assessment will be done, and in a very concise and precise manner. So I'm sure you've got the flow of what is design thinking and how the assessment is. But let me understand from you. So I quickly want you to write in the chat box, what do you understand about design thinking? New idea bringing, Sonal says. Okay, I read two more before that. So please write in the chat box, what does design thinking mean to you? Creative thinking, Sophie says, right? Biju, innovation, yes. Kala says processing of solving problems, new ideas, creative thinking, divergent thinking, very good. Creative and own ideas. Right. Oh, Swati, that was a long one. Sorry. Human-centric approach, very right. Thinking of something different, solving problems, thinking differently, very true, very true. So we are going to go on to the next thing. Okay, very rightly said, and I will take a few things like problem solving, creative thinking, etc. Everybody was talking about 21st century skills, right? So for 21st century skills, which are the four skills? Manish says thinking out of the box. Absolutely, Manish. So which are the four skills that you talk about when you talk about 21st century skills? So can I just see you writing that one? Thank you, Abha. Thank you, Renuka, Ruchi, Pooja. Yes, I think. Okay, so now we are getting the four C's of 21st century skills. Okay. So we have, which are the four? And I need all four. I can see one odd one coming at a time, but I need all four. Okay. Creative collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. Right. So we know that the four C's are communication. That's what we are doing just now. You're communicating. We can't have everybody's mic on. So you're communicating to me through the chat box. We are collaborating. We are brainstorming and we are collaborating. And we have just been taught the process of critical thinking and creative thinking, both by Dr. Ravi Poovaiah, and of course, Mr. Hairsh Sanduja has endorsed how that assessment will be done. So we are very clear about these things. So problem solving to me in my mind is we cannot change the direction of the wind, but we can change the sails to reach our destination. You all agree on that point with me? That, yes, thank you. That is a word which we have put into our school, and it's called ukitamo. Ukitamo is a Japanese word which means because we have to end with something when we cannot problem solve something after we've tried. So change the things that you can change through problem solving, through the 21st century skills, and what you cannot change, remember Ukitamo, it means I accept what I cannot change. But the focus should be change, right? Change is the only constant, and we can do it through problems which come to us. So now, you know, it comes under the gamut of Dr. Poovaiah just shared. Observe. What were the others? So observation, you have to observe the problem. We walk around school, we walk around any place, we don't see the problems. Look around the room you are in. Can you find a problem in the room you are in which you can solve? Just look around quickly. If you can't find a problem, just write yes. Noise, okay. Yes, 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 yes. I can see a lot of yes. All right. So you're observing around you. Yes, Shakshi, Asmita, Manju, Chaya. Right, thank you. I think I've got my answer. Most of you said yes. So that means there's a problem around you, right? Now, how will you? First you observe, then you understand the problem. Then what can I do with this problem? And then you start ideating by talking to people, you know, brainstorming. Okay, there is this problem. This child didn't come to school sometimes. And then you teachers get together and we discuss, or you discuss, we discuss how to solve that problem. So we are ideating, and then we come out with how to do something to help this child, right? And then when we have taken that action, we reflect on it. In quality management, it's called the PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act. And it's very similar, you know, to what we are talking about. Now, why problem solving? Why are we doing problem solving? That is because of what CBSE is coming out with. And please be attentive. How many of you have heard of experiential learning? Okay. Okay, many have raised a hand. All right, all right. But have you heard of transversal education? How many of you have heard of? Okay. So can you write no? Okay, many no's are coming. All right. All right. Lot of no's, lot of no's. Okay, I'm going to ask you. Okay, thank you. Those who are putting the thumbs down. Okay, somebody said yes, we know, madam. Okay. So the person who knows, can you please write what are the 3 things that is included in transversal education? Please note CBSE is coming out with transversal education also. It's part of what the curriculum will have. So those few who said yes or I know, can you tell me what are the 3 aspects of transversal education? All right. Since paucity of time is there, collaboration, I'm sorry, that would be for the previous question, but I'll quickly tell you maybe. Every school gives knowledge. You agree with me? Every school gives you knowledge. So transversal education also gives knowledge. Then we all talk about experience, right? So that is your experiential learning, your knowledge and your experience. But there is a third aspect that comes into transversal education, which is why we are doing design thinking. And that is employability skills. So now we will go on to design thinking and innovation teacher's manual to help you understand how to enhance the children's employability skills, right? Okay, somebody wants me to repeat it. So you all know that through books, you give them content, which is the learning which every school gives. They all teach from the book, but we have to go beyond the book. That is why experience has come in and we talk about experiential learning, right? But Transversal education tells you about the third leg of this education, and that is employability skills. Okay, and that's why we have the design thinking and innovation to help with employability skills. You will all agree that the jobs are not going to be there by the time our nursery children pass out and the ones who have come in now, right? So how do we tackle this? Who would have thought of chat GPT even 1 year back? And look at chat GPT. Not only is chat GPT there, 4 versions have come out of chat GPT already. Google has already bought over, or there's a merger of chat GPT with Google. So many things are happening. Are our children ready? So the only thing they can do is be creative, critical in their thinking, and innovative. So with that, I move on to this book that we have, because we have paucity of time. Yes, employability skills are not up to the mark. I agree with you. Next, sir. Right, so we have these chapters and we are going to show you how we have thought about this particular book. So the basic premise of this book, now can you see this dot inside the circle? You can, as you're listening to me, maybe try to make this dot inside the circle without lifting your hand. Is it possible to do it? Just think, how can I do it? So that's the out of the box thinking. So we are looking at those 4 skills: creativity and innovation in the 21st century skills, critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, which we have already talked about. Now, here is a historical overview of how learning took place for so many years, right? The Gurukul, we all know about the Gurukul. And the Gurukul is there in this pictorial depiction. Next, please, sir. So you can see the student-teacher relationship was very important. The value-based holistic learning, it wasn't just reading from and from the content which was there, whether it be in the palm leaves or in whatever form, you know, and there was applied knowledge. So if they were learning about trees, it was not only that they were learning from those palm leaves where it was written on, but they were also applying that. Now we will come to some of the philosophies that's there in the Indian philosophy of learning. The key thinkers who were there: Shushrut, Bahushrut. Now Shushrut was the first person, and you must know this to be a proud Indian, that Shushrut was one of the first surgeons we had in India. And do you know that Shushrut was also, he gave us yoga, etc., but he was the first surgeon, and he made his instruments by looking around into nature, that how do things happen. And this is how biomimicry, today we are talking about biomimicry, right? If you want to make a plane, look at the bird. If you want to make a little house on the tree, how does the bird which makes the tree on the house make it? What were the ingredients for making it? So these were things which were there. And he got into medicine and surgery. I hope each one of you, I know there are almost 550 people here, or almost 600 by now, I guess. So each one of you must read about Shushrut and Bahushrut, because these are people who made Indians very proud. And Bahushrut, of course, come from the literature part of it. Next, please. Then we have the key Western philosophers, you know, and then we have Seneca, we have Socrates, we have Nietzsche, who is a German philosopher, and the theory of perspectives, the theory of questioning came from Socrates, and Stoicism came from Seneca. So these are theories of learning, and you can see the behaviorist theory, the cognitive theory, the conditioning theory, which Pavlov did. I'm sure you know how he made the dog, the saliva that would come into a dog's mouth at the particular ringing of the bell. then Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and of course, Maria Montessori. If we do not know the background to learning, we will not know how to go ahead. So I request all of you to read these theories. The Skinner's, B.F. Skinner's theory is very, very Piaget, cognitive theory, how we scaffold, we build on our previous learning. So please look at this. It's there in the teacher's manual of design thinking. Next, please. Then, of course, I'm sure you are already aware of multiple intelligences, which has been given to us by Howard Gardner. There are 8 MIs by Howard Gardner, but in India, we've added our own, which is the spiritual MI. But he has given us 8 MIs, which is very good. And I will show you how we are using your inputs also. Then Bloom's taxonomy and Kolb's cycle of learning, which is very important. We'll just quickly look at all these. So you will see Bloom's taxonomy, where earlier there used to be synthesis, evaluation, analysis, synthesis. But now his own disciples have changed and made creativity right on the top. That is why more focus on creativity. So Bloom's taxonomy has been changed, and the highest, the pinnacle out of the 6 in his concentric circles or his pyramid is creativity. Next, please. And you can also learn about Kolb's learning cycle, which is very, very important, because children learn in different ways. As you are learning in different ways, I learn in a different way, right? I could have concrete experience. Like I personally love to do things and I learn very well. You know, after that I reflect. But then there are people who are reflective. They look at something, they read something, and they think about it. Then there are these super intelligent who have abstract conceptualization, right? And then there we have people who have active experimentation, who are the pragmatic ones. And then we have Honey and Mumford learning style, and the VAC style, the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. I'm sure many of you follow in class, right? And then, of course, we have SDGs. This is very important because now CBSE in its new curriculum or syllabus changes have also incorporated. How many of you have read SQA, SQA? School Quality Assurance, Assessment and Assurance, right? Okay, fantastic. I can see there are raised hands happening. Very nice. So now with SQA, you will find that even there we are kind of telling you, I'm also one of the persons who helped write SQA. So we are asking you to look at the SDGs, right? So we need to ensure that. Now we come to again this observe, understand, ideate, build, do, and reflect. So we've called it Uber, okay? It is easy to remember. We've given it an acronym. So Uber is what we are calling it. And this will help you to remember how it is done. We will now move on to how the pedagogical strategy has been made. So first is fresh ideas with design basics, then building communication with stories, understanding process through motion, practice-based visual communication, and inquiry-based problem solving. Next, please. The general learning objectives are there and additional competencies. You'll find a glossary which will give you the keywords which you may not know. Like I didn't know a few keywords of design thinking, which Ravi sir along with his team helped us to learn. So you also won't know. So, but now for you, there's a glossary. So you'll be able to look at the glossary and learn. This came to us from Hairsh Sanduja sir. He made a beautiful flow chart which will give you a quick glimpse into 6th, 7th and 8th curriculum, right? And please go through it. It's very succinct, extremely concise and precise. Now here we come to how you will see the chapters. This is the first one, what is design, which sir already spoke to you about, as in Ravi sir. And you will find this is a 3 hours and 1 hour at home. So 3 hours in school and 1 hour at home. So each one, it has been specified that how many hours in school and how many hours at home. Can you see over there? In the sample outline. This is how it looks. And I wish to tell you, this is very important. Please look at this slide, that to be filled by the teacher. what happens in teacher's manual? You can see these books are written with a lot of forward thinking. You know, we have really been futuristic in writing these books. You will see the teacher has to fill. In other words, earlier you would get a book and you have to just follow it. No, you yourself have to also write what you want to add for learning objectives, even for learning outcomes. Now here you see how we have made it: concept initiation, concept elucidation, and concept closure. So the thing is, what is design? We have made it into 3 parts. Concept initiation is how to build the child's curiosity with one activity. You can take them out or you can have them in the class, but that's the concept initiation, which is for 10 minutes. You can give them a quiz also, or you can have a question answer session. You know, I'll give you a very good idea. Give answers, ask them to make questions. This is role reversal, and children love it, I have seen. So give them answer and ask them, what do you think will be the question to this? Then give them a picture and tell them to predict what is going to happen next. These are ways of raising their curiosity. Give them a story that they know and tell them to change the ending of the story, right? Now you will see concept elucidation, which is then having the learning process, that is elucidation or explanation. And then you have a concept closure, which is for 10 minutes. The photographs you see, we have taken from the Indian Knowledge System, which is a new department under the Ministry of Education. And these are the tools made by sage Shushrut. He looked at nature and he made these tools, right, which we are even using today. Right, next one, sir. So you can see the SDGs are also there, and this we have come to story creation, right? In this particular one, we have story creation, and the children have to do design thinking through a story creation. And you can see how the flow happens. There's observation, discussion, action, right? And here we've given you the look and feel of a very common story creation, right? So we will now kind of wind up, because I think we are a bit beyond time. And am I right, sir? So here is the thing that you saw, or the grid that you saw, the criteria grid. I would like to end with one thing, a question which comes to us very often. And so like this, you can see there are a lot of these chapters, and you will see these circles are to ask you which subjects you want to integrate. So it's subject integrated subject curriculum, right? So in some you will find we have given you, but there is one which is empty, and this one which you saw is the flow, what all you have to do. So it's color coded, you can see, right, which is the action, which is the thought process, like that we've color coded it. It's a very nice document, and I hope it gives you a lot of insight and learning. I would like to end by saying that many times we are asked what subject teacher should teach this. I have one question for you. Is problem solving there only in mathematics? Is problem solving there only in science? Is problem solving there only in social science? Are discussions or brainstorming there only in languages? Then it is every teacher can teach who is creative in their thinking, innovative in their thinking, and has critical thinking, good in communication, which I think every teacher is, and collaborates well. Thank you all for listening to me. I hope you have some takeaways from this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Rupa Chakraborty, ma'am. You are always inspiration for us. As an English teacher, involved yourself in design thinking. You developed with the committee the teacher's manual, which is going to help all the teachers across the country who is going to teach design thinking. Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful session by you with completely demonstrating the teacher's manual. I am very sure, because a 50-page document, very precisely you brief them what exactly the content is inside. It helps as an overview for all other teachers to spare some time and go through it. I'm sure by listening to that, you will all implement at your school. So thank you, Rupa Chakraborty, ma'am, with your 30 years of experience and past few years in design thinking. You demonstrated very nicely the design thinking aspect. as an English teacher, more importantly, because
Uh-huh.
you said who should teach. There was always a question raised from our teachers: who should teach design thinking? Madam is the best practice and an example to every one of us that as a English teacher, she is able to comfortably teach design thinking. You all can do that very much into it. So now I open this platform for a question and answer session. I request every one who have any question to raise your hand symbol. We'll make unmute yourself one by one. We can take a question. We have no enough time to interact, so I request you to raise your hand symbol. I'll be calling one by one and unmute your mic. Then you can ask your question. Our experts will answer for that.
Alan, you can unshare the screen.
Yes. Okay. Sure, sir. Sure. I'll do that. Yes. First is Alka Dube. Alka Dube, you can ask your question now. Okay. Next, Mr. Manjunath. Mr. Manjunath, you can ask your question now.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Manjunath ji. Please, you can answer. You can ask your question.
Sir, now whatever you introduce this TTI in CBSE school, sir,
Yes.
it is compulsory for all the CBSE school or only interested schools have to start this?
Sir,
Why,
it's
why this question comes in my mind is that we interacted with our local here nearby schools. They are not showing interest in this SIC.
okay.
So we means our teachers completed all the things and we are eager to start this one. But we need help from other schools, but they are not showing interest. And whatever our Karnataka will come in under the reason first, sir. I think
Sir,
you are the coordinator for that.
Yeah. Sir, what happens is School Innovation Council is a separate initiative. Design thinking and innovation is a separate initiative. It all stands on an individual identity. In a School Innovation Council, a set of activities carried out throughout the year, and we give funding to the good innovation ideas. We start with idea, prototype development, and product development. We give funding. This skill module, design thinking and innovation, is an skill module introduced by CBSE for the schools across the country. So the expert committee under the dynamic leadership of Ravi Poovaiah sir, the content has been developed for past 2 years to make sure that we make our students more innovative, creative, and design thinking. And we make them more problem solver and creative thinking. We are introducing this subject. It's still an optional module. I would request, it would be, if you can introduce, you can see some changes in the coming years.
Sure,
Ravi sir,
sure,
you
sir.
want to add something into it?
Planning to introduce this one, sir, but we can take help of
No, Alan, I think you.
or any teacher, sir.
Sir, you can start on your own, sir. There is no need of any support from any other school teachers for launching
Our
this
teacher
design thing.
who have completed innovation ambassador course, sir. We can take help of those teachers only, or we can allot for any other teachers.
Sir, anyone, sir, anyone. It's not a must. They should be an innovation ambassador. As I said, any teacher who is interested, they can start this course. There is no.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yes. Ravi Poovaiah, sir, you want to add something?
Yeah, just to add on to what you said, any school interested in this particular subject can start this program. You don't even need to write for permission. It's there. The notice is there on CBSE website saying that you don't have to ask us. You can start the skills program itself. Okay, so that's having said that. Second is that any teacher interested can also start this program. Okay, I mean, we encourage you to go through that innovation, ambassador program, because it will give you the background to start this. Okay, and what we have done is that if you go through the task books and the teacher's manual, they're actually very simple. So anybody can actually be the mentor to execute this along with the children. so it's not very complicated. So if you want, actually, the group is there, national, the Innovation Ambassador Program, if you have, because many of them are already part of introducing this in the schools. So both the chat sessions as well as the website over there will help you actually implement this program. And we have conducted one-day program in 6 cities. The recording of these sessions are also available. Okay, that could be helpful to all of you.
Yes, sir.
That's it from me. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Rupa ma'am, you want to add something, ma'am? Rupa ma'am?
I only wish to put in a word of caution over here. I will request all of you to attend, to tell whosoever is going to be doing this program to attend, because of course Dr. Ravi Poovaiah, Professor Ravi Poovaiah is up there, so he doesn't realize that we mortals have to learn more about design thinking. So I will just tell all of you, suggest to all of you, that you must do the course before you go into design thinking, because there is a technicality involved as teachers which we may not know. For sir, it is a cakewalk. So I would request that. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I request Mrs. Beena Prakash to ask your question. Mrs. Beena Prakash. Mr. Beena Prakash, can you ask? I want you to
mute me, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please.
I have also completed my 72-hour module, but I'm still not confident in handling the. So, will there be an offline training for teachers like me? I would like to join an offline training program where I can get a hand-on experience, sir, of the.
Ma'am, we are planning for a session, but not shortly. It may take some time, 1 or 2 months time, because we have already conducted 6-7 states. Those videos of complete whole 7 hours with hands-on is being uploaded on the DTI portal, where I have shared the link through the chat. Actually, if you can go through it, always it will give
No,
lot
no,
of.
sir. In future, sir, we'll definitely chat with what your modules are. But if suppose there's something new, this is, as Rupa ma'am said, it's some very new to us. We are not into it. We are learning. I'm especially learning. I've been teaching 33 years, but I have no idea about. But I've now got interest in it. I've completed all my modules. So I would like to have the personal training where I can improve myself.
Great, ma'am. Great. Sure, ma'am. We will do that. What I will do is we will, when we are conducting the physical session, we'll inform you, ma'am. We are planning few sessions in Northeast and South of India. So we will inform you in
South of
advance.
India is also not an issue for me because I am from Central India. I'm from Bhopal. I'm from Campion School, Bhopal.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, we'll inform you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
and a great initiative by CBSE, sir. It's a great initiative.
Yes, yes.
Thank you,
ma'am. Yeah. So next is Mukta Kulkarni. Mukta Kulkarni, you can ask your questions now. So next is Pooja. Pooja Jangir.
Hi, sir. My question is, this design thinking, is it like something related to this AIL? Because in AIL, we used to incorporate many subjects in one activity we are planning for a particular grade. So my question was, like, for example, being an English teacher, can English, maths, and science be incorporated in one activity which we are doing for a particular grade?
Ravi, sir, you want to answer for this, sir? Ravi, sir, you want to answer for this? Ma'am, to be precise, it's an unique and identity program, ma'am. It's an totally independent from artificial intelligence. You take a design thinking where we are trying to make thought process, problem solving, critical thinking, for the students. We want to enhance their skill. Once this creativity and problem solving skills is being introduced with the students, I'm sure they'll be able to resolve any other subject they learn. So there is no way I can not directly connected, but sure it will be and useful for the students if you introduce this design thinking.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Shamir Doshi, you can ask your
Yes, sir.
question.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you listen me?
Yeah. You are very clear and
Okay.
audible, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, myself, Samir Doshi from Gujarat, Freedom Valley School. Sir, I have a question that this topic we have to take, sir, on miss how frequently we have to take is like once in a week or twice in a week, or can we connect with our curriculum,
Yes.
academic?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's totally independent and left complete freedom to user. There is no constraint that, for example, you can have a Saturday 2 hour session or weekly
Uh,
1 hour session, or you want to make it like during summer occasion you want to take and give a spare time with the student and do. So as per your comfortable available time, you can handle this
uh,
session. Sir. There is no constraint of any restricted time which it should be handled. Always we can give some time gap, say handle 2 hours, then give them some 2 3 hours of time to do, then they can do it.
Thank you, sir. And sir, if the activity is done by ourselves, then how can we report to you? How you will come to know that this is done by the particular teacher?
Sir, we are asking on the portal, sir, like what are the active, how many teachers are being trained, how many students are trained
Uh,
on our portal. You are supposed to upload, sir. It's just a 5 minutes it takes to register on the DTI portal. Your name, email ID, school ID, school name.
uh-huh.
You just make it,
That
and how many
registration
students
is
are
done,
trained.
sir. That.
So
Okay,
after
so we have to upload the pictures, photographs.
photographs, it's sir, if you are having a class of 40 students, 4 or 5
Uh,
students in a batch, you can make it with that. And out of that,
uh,
2 or 3 good ideas, you can make it. Remaining, you can keep
uh-huh.
it as a record with you. When on needed basis, we will ask you. Otherwise, it's like no, you can just keep it for your reference.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, sir. Rajani Moli. Rajani Moli, can you ask your question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, please go ahead.
And sir, I'm from Sline English Medium School, Pariyaram, Kerala.
Okay.
I would like to ask you one thing. That is regarding the timetable which we have to give for this one. Actually, we need to give 160 hours for 9 to 12 classes, right?
Okay.
Then do we need to give a specific period in the timetable? I think so.
No, ma'am. Ravi sir, you want to answer it, sir?
Yeah, she's asking whether the schedule has to be given in the timetable, right? Yeah, I
That's
think
yes, sir.
Rupa
Yes,
ma'am
sir.
can also answer this. Yes, definitely, yes. Actually, you'll have to plan this,
Yes. Yes.
because the students should be able to take it as an elective, right?
Yes.
Rupa ma'am, you can add from
So,
your experience.
do
Thank
we
you,
need
sir.
to add all the students or only those who are willing?
Rajini Mole, you see
Yes.
what is going to happen. CBSE is now telling you that this can be given as a skill subject, right? So
Okay.
as a skill subject, 160 hours will be put into your curriculum structure, right? And like you do other subjects, because the one skill subject is soon going to be important and mandatory. So this directive has not come yet. We are going to wait and see when the directive comes. It will be part of your curriculum structure, which you have to incorporate into your syllabus. Now for grades 6, 7, 8, this I'm talking about 11, 12, 100%. For 9, 10, there is talk going on as to how to go about doing it, but they will also be doing it as a choice for some children who would want to take this even in 9, 10th, right? Because this is becoming the need of the hour. For 6, 7th, 8th, there's only 18 hours. We've had a talk, Professor Poovaiah, along with the Ministry of Education and CBSE, that we will make it either a club activity Okay.
Okay.
Or we will make it integrated with subjects. So just to give you an example, the particular module that I was showing you had storytelling. So that can be integrated with science. There is one module where photography is there. That can be integrated, sorry, that can be integrated with the storytelling with language. And then there is photography that can be integrated with science, like that when you're doing lenses. So like that you can do. And in 6th, 7th, 8th, there is a progression. There is a progression which you will come to know. We are just working on it. Am I right, Professor Poovaiah, that we are working on the progression? So 6th, 7th, 8th, that progression will happen. So each year you'll go a little bit higher, but it's all 18 hours. So you can just do in your club, or you can integrate it with the subject, or if required, you can make it either with life skills. Instead of life skills, no, I wouldn't suggest that. Or use it in one of your library periods or activity periods, etc.
But mainly I'm asking about the higher classes.
Yeah, higher classes, they will give you a structure. It's going to come the structure from CBSE, and like you have your skill learning module, or rather, sorry, subject, you will do the same for this one.
So we have to wait to prepare the timetable?
Yes, I think a little bit you'll have to wait. And of course, we can, through the Ministry of Education, ask them to hurry up a little more so that it is done quickly.
So I have to ask the principal to wait while preparing the timetable for 11th and 12th. 9th to 12th, right?
2 years. 2 years.
Yes, 11th and 12th.
Yes.
Okay,
And 9th, 10th will be coming up also, because 9th also we have prepared the books and it's ready, and 9, 10, but it will soon be there.
So now we have to concentrate on 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8, yes, and then give to 11, 12th as a subject, a course, skill-based subject.
But no need of giving it in the timetable.
We are just going to get back to you because they are in talks and they'll let you know from CBS.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I request Silpa Chopra. Silpi Chopra.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Shri, and thank you, Professor Poovaiah and Rupa ma'am. This has been a great session. I'm currently teaching design, and also we have a portion which covers design thinking. So my question is that we're already practicing this for the past 3 years in the school. So will that be considered as the design thinking module, or 11th and 12th has to take up something else?
See, the
projects are.
Yeah, the advantage of doing this is that it's going to be graded. We are working on the evaluation. Okay, so in this certification, if they do it at 9th and 10th or 11th and 12th, they'll actually get it as part of their grading system, as part of CBSE. That will help them in case they want to do higher studies in design. It will be a big advantage for them because it can actually show that they actually did this in the school. So the thing is that when you take up design thinking and innovation as a separate module, there's an emphasis on that, and what you're doing, you're most welcome to do, because you can integrate design thinking into any subjects anyway, and if you have an initiative to do it, please go ahead and do it. But what we have taught is it's a gradual, progression right from 6th standard to 12th standard. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes. So I saw in this slide where you were talking about.
Your voice is splitting. Yeah,
am I audible?
Yeah, now you are.
Yes. So currently, my students are designing a toy and giving them different age groups as well. So can we include the same project for submission as a part of design thinking submission that we are
Yes,
discussing?
in fact, in class 11, one of the
Yes.
modules is on toy and game design. If you look at the task book, right, it's the
Okay, sir.
7th module in class 11, you know. So do have a
Okay,
look
sir.
at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has 18 hours of time for this particular module. Okay, so interestingly, toy and game design has been made into part of the design thinking curriculum. And
Thank you so much.
there's also a push and initiative by the central government into the toy and game industry, you know.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Mukherjee. Sudipta Mukherjee.
Yes, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am. Please
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sudipta Mukherjee from JPS Kolkata. Sir, I have few questions. I was going through the modules. Some of the modules are say 120 hours, then 18 hours. Now the thing is that managing 18 hours is not an issue, but when it comes to 120 hours, because our school follows a Saturday and Sunday off. Now to integrate uh, means as a working day on Saturday, many parents will deny to send their kids in school. And apart from that, like the submission of report, if we are talking about, so if suppose if we are coming to the board classes, class 10 and 12. Now again in class 10 there are all total 8 modules and every module is having some parts. So when it comes to board classes, automatically first of all the students show their lack of interest to participate in various activities. So this is one of the major problems. My third question is regarding the number of candidates who can participate in a certain module or an activity. And like suppose class 9 is having 3 sections. So shall I take 5 students from each class or 5 from each section? And if I am suppose taking the class on
I,
TI, yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I'll answer part, one by one. I'll leave the
okay, sir.
last questions to Rupa ma'am. Okay, the first
Okay.
is, in the class 6, 7th, 8th, it's an exposure module. You actually
Okay.
spend 12 hours in the school and
Mm.
6 hours at home. That 12 hours you can do it over 4 weekends, if you want. But you cannot do the
Okay.
same thing when it comes to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, because suddenly from 18 hours, it becomes 160 hours. Okay,
Yes.
so almost 120 hours is actually spent in the school. You
Mm.
get what I'm saying? So that becomes
Yes, sir.
too much to do it over weekends. It has to become part of your regular timetable, you know? Okay, so that is something
Okay.
which has to be done. Okay, and the second is that this is always based on student interest. So
Okay.
I think the CBSE also made it clear that it has to be a choice of the student. Uh, and it's not like we pick up 5 students from each class and, give them this course. So that's something which needs to be debated here. So it is like an elective subject. It happens parallelly. So that means they don't take something in lieu of this, they are able to do this. That's the only way you can carve out 120 hours, right? And the
Okay,
ideal
sir.
class size is typically like a regular class size. If you're comfortable with 30, that should be the class size, you know. So that's how roughly that's what I have in mind. And Rupa can answer the last question. Last question, can you repeat it for Rupa, ma'am?
Yes, sir. My question is that the number of candidates per activity, and suppose if I'm taking the session with the kids, so again, if say 3 students are showing their interest for that particular activity, what will be the situation with the other 37 students in my class?
No, I can answer that. See, this is
Yes, sir.
only for students who have already opted for design. It is
Okay.
not that you introduce only to the interested students each module. See, if they've opted for design in 10th standard, let's say, they have to spend 120 hours in that particular subject. you know. So all the students will do all the modules, you know. It is
Okay.
like
Okay.
it's an elective, it's a subject that they have to make a choice. Once they make the choice, they have to go through the whole content. So it's not that there are some students who are not doing anything and others are doing. No, whoever's taken this choice, all of them will go through the program.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
So currently we have to focus basically for class 6 to 8, and for class 9 to 12, it will be an elective part, if I'm not wrong.
right, right.
Okay, sir. And so one last question means can we integrate our school clubs in this program?
Yes, of course. Because it's a
Okay.
skill-based subject. It's also a very creative
Mhm.
subject, you know, and it's also a very practical subject, you know. So all these
Okay,
things,
sir.
you know, so it fits in the mandate. Like you can, I think you're also encouraged to open up a design innovation cell, you know, inside your
Yes, yes.
school, you know, so that's part of
Okay.
it, you know. Yeah, so that could be a design innovation club, for example, you know.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Back to you, Ellen.
May I ask question, sir? Because I was
Surendra Yogi, please
muted.
ask your question, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you, sir. I'm from Pondicherry, Aditya Vidyashram. So, Alan sir was discuss about the funding 2 lakh rupees. So, it is about one project or about the school? Because, yeah,
Ellen?
am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
you
not
can
sure.
upload as a group of 4. So if you say like 40 students are there in a class, you make 4
Okay.
groups, 4 students in each group, and then you can take it further. 2, 3 projects of good projects whichever you feel you can upload on the portal. Remaining you can keep it with a record for you, so that the next junior kids, whenever the next class kids comes, you can show them as a kind of case study, or you can show them as a practice which the students have done, so that once you consolidate, you will have in 1 or 2 years, we will have 40-50 projects which can be demonstrated to the students. Ravi sir, you want to add something to that, sir?
No, I think it's perfectly fine. I think, see, there is a lot of initiatives which the innovation cell is doing. You know, one is it is helping you to certify some teachers as innovation ambassadors. My suggestion is that whoever wants to teach this course, please go through that program and become innovation ambassadors if you've not already done so, because that becomes the background for actually teaching the design innovation program in your school. The second is that they're actually helping you set up a design innovation cell in the school. Okay. Third is, you know, very potential projects which can be taken up as an innovation project. They are actually funding them so that you can incubate it and take it further, maybe make prototypes of it. Okay. So there is a lot of activity which the innovation cell is doing. And I think, you know, schools have an opportunity to be part of that. But I think the beginning point is that there's an excellent innovation ambassador program. So that's probably the first step. Second is introducing it in 6th, 7th, 8th. You get experience of doing it. You know, it's just 12 hours, you know. Once you do that module, you'll have the confidence to do it for 9th and 10th, 11th and 12th. But if you have the confidence to do it in the higher classes, please go ahead. You know, don't have to wait. There are certain norms for exams and things like that, which the CBSE has to still come back to you. Okay, I think it's going to be done in a very short while.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. We have completed our ambassador program like in July or that time only when you started. So almost 10 to 12 teachers completed this one.
Very
So
good.
that's why I'm just approaching for my submitting my project.
Great, great. Okay,
Okay,
nice,
thank you,
nice
sir.
to hear that, sir. So
Yeah.
there is no restriction that 5 or 10 teachers should complete. Any number of teachers from a school can carry out the program.
Yeah,
We saw few schools
in
have
this session
80
we will
teachers
involve
completed.
more teachers.
Yes, yes, because it helps the more number of teachers to participate and handhold the students in the journey of innovation. That's what you want. Thank you
So
for that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
So
all
next
the
we
best
have
for you. Yeah, next.
yeah. Next teacher Swapna, can you ask your question? Teacher Swapna?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Swapna from MES International School, Patambi, sir.
Yes, please, ma'am. We are audible,
Sir,
ma'am. Please, you can ask your
actually,
question.
yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, most of the questions what I thought of asking is answered, but still I've got a question here. Right now, we registered for this 9, 10, 11, 12 also. Means right now one form came up where we have to give our names of the teachers, nominated teachers, right, sir? So
Yes.
is it that okay? Is it that okay? We have to implement in 9, 10, 11, 12, or it should be later? That's my first question, sir.
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, the form which we have circulated, the Google form, is for to participate in this program today.
Yes, sir.
So that no, we will be able to understand more about how to implement this design thinking module in your school, ma'am. So your second
Yeah,
question.
second question is, sir, actually, we used to have that art integrated learning and Seva that is introduced in CBSE syllabus. That's already there. Okay, so we used to do some innovative projects under that.
Sure.
Will that be considered as design thinking because it's already done? Means
No, ma'am, it's totally independent
No.
from that. This skill module is totally independent from that skill module. This,
yeah, because I
please.
came to know, like, right now design thinking is actually thinking out of the box.
Yes, yes.
Am I not right, sir? Am I right, sir? There?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
you're
Ma'am.
partly right,
thinking,
but design thinking applies to a lot of activities. I think that
yes, sir.
the module I think is for art exploration and creativity. You know?
Yes, sir. Actually, in 11th standard, one of my kid actually produced a project which incorporates English language. I mean, language and literature. I mean, English core. So it is like a game.
Okay.
A story has become a game.
Okay.
So can that be considered as a design thinking?
Yes, when you do a game which can be produced and used by many others, okay, then it becomes part of the design thinking
Design
curriculum.
thinking. So it is like it should be like widely accepted. Means that's what the concept of design thinking is, right, sir?
Yeah. So, I think Rupa ma'am mentioned this. We are making students capable of going and be part of the skills workforce in the future. And especially if you want to be part of the creative, fraternity, right? Whether you're doing doctor or lawyer or even creative industries, you go to the media, make movies and things like that. So this is the seeds that we are trying to inculcate in the students. Right?
That entrepreneurship also comes under this, right?
Yes, definitely. Especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own company, you have an idea, but how to actually take it forward is also part of that. And I think we are doing the initial part of it,
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Will there be exam for 10th and 12th for this? Actually, I think somewhere you have pointed
There
it
will be
out.
an exam which will be based on doing a task.
Okay.
Within that 2 hours, instead of, answering questions, it will be a task-based exam, and it's evaluated with the same mechanism which Hairsh sir said. There'll be a matrix and, it will be evaluated like that. Yeah, because then it becomes part of the system, right? Yeah, we're trying to do that.
So the question paper would be from CBSE itself, right, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have answered. Thank you. Thank you for the great initiative, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, so
You're
much.
welcome, sir.
Yeah, Vipina Karthik. Before Vipina Karthik, if some teachers want to have ask some questions, you can also type in the chat box. On behalf of you, I can ask the expert the same. So now I request Vipina Karthik to answer, raise the question what she has.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, very much, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes. The same thing in grade 9 and 10, 11 and 12, if it is taken as an elective, do they write a board exam in this?
I think
will there be
Rupa
a board,
ma'am will.
because other elective subjects will have board exams, right?
Yes.
So how will it will be like an optional subject, even if the 6th optional subject, if they take it, there has to be a board exam, or as you said, will it be a practical based assessment?
No, there'll be a board exam. I think details are being worked out. Rupa ma'am can
Okay.
add to this. It'll be a task-based exam. Whether it's 2 hours or 3 hours, they have to sit and, solve a problem. And
Okay.
you'll probably have 50% weightage for that. And
Okay.
50% will be for the in-semester or in-year, assessment
Yes,
done
yes,
by the
internal assessments, what they do it in the school. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that
So,
percentage
but
will,
that is
see,
still not clear, no, sir? It's still
I
not
think it's
worked out.
because it's being worked out. See, all this is done now, I think you will have to have a little patience. Everything will be clear,
Okay. No, my idea basically was if we start with 10th and 12th as an optional subject, by the time they reach, let's say, March board exam, this will be ready. So we
I think
can
so.
tell the parents that they will be writing a board exam on this.
Rupa ma'am, can you add to this?
Vipina, thank you for asking that question. Remember, this is a 2-year course, 9, 10th, 11, 12.
Yes,
So it's going to be together that the final examination happens, right? That 160 hours is clubbed together for 9th, 10th and 11th, 12th. So having said that, that means when you start this year, you don't need to worry except for seeing the question papers, which is happening right now when we have our meetings. We have decided that it's going to be a 50-50. It's going to be a task-based exam test, whatever you wish to call it. But we will also give it either a 1 hour or 2 hour paper where they will have certain content or pedantic side of it also. So one is the pragmatic side where you do the task-based, and then there will be a little testing of the content. So that we are still working out the hours in our meeting, and CBSE, of course, we are doing it with CBSE and you should hear about it sooner than later, right? So
okay. So if 9th and 10th together 160 means if I start with grade 9 this year, by the time they finish the 160 in grade 10 next year, this will be ready.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
But you will have to have the testing here also. So we will try to, make sure that this happens sooner than later, like I said. And we are already in deep talks, I should say deep talks, because that is the focus of our meetings these days, that how do we do the testing, the assessment, how do we do everything, so that it is a robust system rather than doing a trial and error, because we definitely feel that trial and error is not for our children, right? And sometimes that happens when something new starts, but we are trying to make it robust as far as possible. And like Professor Ravi Poovaiah said, we want to change tasks every year, for which we are creating a portal. Dr. Ellen Govan, please correct me if I'm wrong, where your contribution has to be there. Even for question papers, we will ask your contribution, on the portal and to give it to us. And then we will use those to do. So it's a very involved, a win-win situation for all of us, that you are involved, like in the teacher's manual, you are also involved in many of the things, including the curriculum writing, because we are asking you to be part of the manual by giving your ideas over there or your processes over there. Secondly, what tasks you want in the future, like Professor Poovaiah said, please write to us and give us those ideas. And even the question paper, giving us the question bank, all these things we are working upon. And definitely you will come to know, especially the question bank. The other things are all finalized. Just the last bit, we are almost at the journey's end.
Okay. Ma'am, so this optional will be the 6th optional subject, or can it be the first one of the 5 of the core optional electives?
Speak prematurely, Vipina, because there are a lot of changes happening. I'm on some of those committees also for CBSE. So
Okay.
you will find an overall change also emerging with the national framework happening, curriculum framework happening,
NEPs
NCF
is also
happening.
coming.
And also there are certain other changes which are going to be coming up. So I don't want to talk prematurely right now. You will find, but
Okay.
it will all fall into place together, right? By 2024, the whole thing will emerge for you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Madhusmita Acharya. Madhusmita Acharya, can ask your question, please.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, I belong I'm from Deepal School, Odisha, sir. Already in 22-23 session only we have implemented the SIC in our school. Also, I had attended the program. It was conducted by Ravi sir and Rupa ma'am at Bhubaneswar.
Okay, ma'am.
So with that basic knowledge, we had started, and also many number of teachers from our school also has already got the innovation ambassador badge. Now the process is still going on with other teachers.
Okay,
And the last year was just as Rupa ma'am was saying, we cannot do it as a trial and error method, but because the information was less and we are not much confidence, we added this thing as a trial and error thing only for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th student. Whatever text like task book and materials were available, with that we started. This year, full-fledged, we want to do that in our school. But as the 10 students are going to appear the board exam, and again they require much amount of time to spend. For that reason, little the parents and the students are they show little lack of interest. So is it possible that already 6, 7, 8 are enrolled, but is it possible until only 9th we can implement the same thing? And if we are implementing only for 9th, 6th, 7th, it is okay. I'm talking about the 9th, the 10th module. If we are implementing it only for 9th, then shall we assign 160 hours of the thing to them, or only 80 hours will be sufficient, as it is a combined module for 9th, 10th, as ma'am was saying right now?
No, each year requires 160 hours,
Okay.
So one is, of course, you can wait for a while. You can introduce it in 9th and introduce it in 10th and 9th next year, instead of doing both 9th and 10th this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be one way to do it, because definitely by next year everything will be in place. Even the new national framework will also be very clear to all of us. So, I mean, one suggestion is that you can do 9th and 11th this year.
Actually, we have till 10th only, sir, in our school.
Oh, you have till 10th. So you can do 9th this year. And then next year you can do all the classes, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Okay. Anyway, the 9 pass out students, they will have hand-on idea, and it will be helpful for them while they are reaching 10th. Yes, sir?
Yeah. Yes. And then it will become part of the board exam. So interested students can,
By the end of next year, it will be the part of board exam. Yes, sir?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Mani Bhushan. Mani Bhushan, you can ask your question. Richa Sethi. Richa Sethi, you can ask your question, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, first of all, to start with, my first question is already answered, that for 6 to 8, if we are enrolling the students, that will be mandatory for all the students enrolled. And for now, if we are enrolling for 9 to 12, so the first thing, is it mandatory for all the students of 9 to 12 to go through it?
No, it is optional.
It is optional. Fine.
It's optional.
And okay, fine. And if we enroll, so for this current year, we have to get the enrollment done for 9th and 11th first.
Yes, that would be better, rather than handling everything at the same time. it's better to do 9th and 11th. And next year, once you have confidence, you can do 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes, fine, sir. And
Yeah.
another thing, when we are starting for 9th class, so while we do the registration for CBSC, so should we do the enrollment of those students in their registration form? Will there be a column for this subject, elective subject?
I think the national framework restructuring is going on. So,
Yes,
Rupa,
sir.
will you answer this?
Absolutely. Yes, Richard. Hi. Yes, of course, we are waiting for that, and there will be definitely this will be made a part of it.
Okay, fine. So we have to wait for that. That means we might have to register that particular subject, this particular subject also for those interested students.
Yes, yes. So there are a lot of changes coming, especially in the 9-10 bracket, as you may have realized, like, there are 4, 5 or more rather, sorry, subjects which have been added. So there are options coming up in the 9-10 category of classes, which will help the children to choose, because not only for children who have certain inclination towards certain subjects, but also those who want to increase a subject or something like that. All these, like I had said earlier, it's a little premature for me, and I'm not the authority, but you will find a lot of changes coming soon, right? And good changes, very good changes, which are for the welfare of the children.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Sir, one more question that when we are enrolling these students, so the Google form that we have got in which we have to give the details of the students who are actually taking part. So for specifically for 9th and 11th. So because we have to give the names by 10th of April. So how do we give the names for those students? Because right now we are not clear whether it will be a part of the main registration subject or not.
You received the Google form from CBSE, ma'am? CBSE?
We have received the implementation mail from DTI. So we have to give.
Yeah. Ma'am, in DTI implementation, whatever we are asking is you can upload the same on the portal also. The Google form, whatever we are given, there is a flexibility in that Google form which we received, sent from DTI team from Ministry of Education. Because we want to make sure that how many students are registering, we want to know that so that we can plan accordingly the other related activities. You can fill in the Google form as well as you can upload on the portal. Ma'am. In the portal, there is a place where how many students have registered and how many students are in progress of carrying out this course. You can upload it there, ma'am. It's fine with that.
Okay, so fine. If we are uploading tentative list of the students right now interested, but that can, so the flexibility is there that those students can change.
Yes.
Because right now it's in the beginning stages, right? So
Yes,
we want to know how many, schools are doing it and how many students
how many
are
are the
involved in
tentative
it.
ones?
Yeah, so it's more like that. And if somebody needs some, support and help, that we'll be able to, do that. It's more of that intention. It's not a permission.
So
But
basically,
I'm glad you brought this up, Richard, because this is very important, sir, to remember. Dr. Ellen Govan, I would request you to make CBSE, to inform CBSE, because they are already beginning to fill up in grade 9. So if it's going to be an exam mode, then they need to be aware of that. So we could just work on that.
Yes, because within a month's time, I think the registration process of CBSE will start for 9th. So it should be a clear picture for us, for students, and for the parents as well.
Yeah, got it. We will do that. We are also requesting CBSEs to send a circular to all the schools. So shortly, you may expect that from Dr. Biswajit.
One more question, sir. When we are enrolling the students of class 6 to 8, so again, I'll refer to that format of Google form. There is a column for listing down the number of hours and the date. So will that be for all the sections of 6, suppose?
Ma'am, it's very flexible, ma'am. Why we are asking is just we want to understand, whether you have fixed some time to them to allocate. As I said,
Okay.
it will be a weekly 1 or 2 hours, or weekends, Saturdays you want to handle. Just to understand the process and how we are carrying out is what the Google form is circulated. So you
Okay.
can also make it flexible as per your convenient. As of now, whatever is the schedule tentatively you planned, you can upload it there.
Fine. And if this is flexible, so we can also get this changed after some time.
Yes,
Depending
very,
upon
very
whatever
much.
is there.
Very much you can do it.
Right now, can we just fill it for April and May? Because it is, I think, asking for the entire year.
Yeah, you can do that, man. It's because you can keep regularly updating it. More importantly, you can upload it on the portal once you freeze or say finalize the number of students who is going to be part of it.
Yes, sir.
You can always upload it on the portal where we can take the data. It can be done throughout the year. It's open.
It can be done throughout the year.
Yes.
Fine.
Very much that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So that was a teacher, sir, on a chat box. So they have given Nagalakshmi. She had asked, can we get the materials or toolkit to do the activity? Teacher Nagalakshmi, actually, the materials, all the materials related, that books, textbooks, PPTs, teacher's manual, everything is available on the portal, which I have shared the link on this chat box also. So SIED/DTI. So I'll share once again with that, and also I've given a few email IDs where you can write. As a toolkit, if you ask, so if you in the books itself, we have given there is no any no toolkit which is costlier or which you cannot buy it. It's very affordable. Sir, you want to show some light on that, sir? Ravi, sir?
Yeah, it's just basic materials. For each task, we have said what kind of materials you need. You normally can get all this in the stationery shop, a normal stationery shop. Nothing is very expensive. We encourage all teachers, everybody to use very sustainable materials. So you can use old newspapers, threads, things like that, Yeah, so that's our intention. So yeah, it doesn't require many things. Yeah, and the list is given for each of the tasks.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question is from a teacher. She had asked that they have established School Innovation Council and they want support for an expert member. Ma'am, for that expert member, they can be an industry expert who has been part of any of your students' parents who is in industry can be part of that expert member. It's only for them to understand or they convey to the committee or the council which is formed in your school to guide them in handholding the process of how to develop a product. It's not a must they should have 20 years, 15 years experience. Any industry practitioners who is involved in the product development, they can very comfortably and confidently describe or brief the council how to develop a product part. It just to handhold you. That's what you're asking. There is I don't think there is a big challenge in identifying the expert member. If not, also on our portal, we have given a nearby incubation center details where the incubation center manager can be part of this School Innovation Council and handhold them. So that's a query for a School Innovation Council. So any other questions? If you have, you can raise your hand symbol. If not, we can close the session.
Yeah,
I feel like almost all the questions
Ellen, there were a couple of questions. My
Yes,
current grade students have done 11th and 12th students have done projects, but these should be in the area of design thinking, not any project, So if they've used the design thinking process in solving the problem, you're most welcome to do it. Second, there was a question, if it's a state school, can they do this? Right now, it's a CBSE initiative. We are sure that the states will also follow this, So right now, it's not mandatory or, for the state schools to do it, But I think it'll have a effect, and I know for sure the Delhi board is trying to implement it,
So the Secretary School Education had conveyed it that Secretary School Education will address all the state boards to implement the innovation initiative, sir. And as there is no restriction that only CBSE school should do. Anyone is keen and interested to do, they are always welcome. The platform is open and the portal is developed in such a way that any school can register and do that. So, any school, any teacher who is interested can undergo this training and implement at their respective school. It's because it's a skill module. So next, there is a Rajesh Shukla who want to ask a question. Mr. Rajesh Shukla, you can ask your question, please. Mr. Rajesh Shukla, you have a question to ask? If not, Mr. Mani Bhushan. Mani Bhushan, you want to ask your question?
Sir, there are two questions, sir.
Yes, please.
First thing is, do we need, I'm from Aditya Birla Public School, Jagdishpur, Endorama Public School, Jagdishpur, rather, now changed. So we have I have two questions. First is the affiliation mandatory for starting this process? Rather, we had registered and we had completed the Innovation Council process also.
Okay.
Everything is done. So I'm just asking, is there any affiliation required for starting this design thinking course?
No, you don't even need permission to do it. You don't even have to write to CBSE for permission. You're free to start this program. I think there is a notice on this, right? It's
yes,
there
sir.
on
Yes, sir. Sir, it's available on CBSE website also. It's available on our DTI portal. All the notice related to innovation initiatives and DTI is available on the portal. That you can go through it, sir. There is no permission required from CBSE to start this program. As a school is interested, and if you discussed internally with your principal, you can please go ahead and start the program.
Right.
Okay, sir. One more question, sir.
Yes,
we have a vocational course in IT at class 9 and 10 level as optional skill subject. All right. And in class 11th and 12th, we have computer science, informatics practices, fine arts, etc., and physical education. So, do we need to start this design thinking process as a separate subject? Means, will it be an option for class 9 to 12?
Yeah, that's right. So the students will have one more option in addition to the other skill subjects.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not that everybody will go through it. One has to opt for it.
Okay.
So if there are, I don't know, just for the sake of it, there are 5 subjects your school offers. They have a choice of only one subject.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So there was a teacher asked a question, how a teacher I can complete the program? Do I have to register myself as an individual to be trained? Ma'am, there is in a DTI portal, there is a video session which previous workshops which we conducted across 5 states, 2-3 sessions have been uploaded on the portal, where the complete today's session, we have made it only 2 hours in a brief. Those session is like, one full day, 6-7 hours video recorded, including the hands-on session which is carried out, is available on the portal. Once you visit the website, you can go through it, take your time of 1 or 2 weeks time, go through the video thoroughly. I'm sure you will be able to understand and handle the subject. Parallelly, you can refer to all the teachers' manuals, textbooks, PPTs which is shared. Whatever presented by Professor Ravi sir and the committee is available on that. Go through it. Still, if you have any doubt, you can always write to us. We can clarify the doubts to you. So there is one more question from Jennifer. We have set up the school innovation council in our school. We have done the project. How to submit to you? Ma'am, there is a portal. In our portal, we ask first about ideation. You should, how many ideas? We are asking at least minimum 20 ideas to upload in the portal. From there, you only can internally evaluate or shortlist from idea to prototype, from prototype to product development. Whatever ideas you have been made after business development or product development, you upload on the portal. Final round will be done by the Innovation Council team, and they will identify suitable ideas. Then we will call you for a presentation and ask you how much fund is required for you for developing the product. Then we'll be extending the support of funding to you. And also a national level exhibition will happen in Delhi during August, September. This is a journey of the School Innovation Council. Again, repeating with ideation, prototype, business module, and product development. Good innovation ideas will be funded and exhibited at national level in Delhi. So you can submit the ideas in the portal, ma'am. Once you can log in, you will be able to see the project submission, product submission available on the portal. This is for Jennifer. So I don't see much questions. I think
Ellen, there's one question here. If a school doesn't opt in as an elective
okay, sir.
for board 10th exam, what are the alternatives? See, what we're trying to mention is that design thinking is a process that is applicable to any subject. Okay. So if you don't want to do it as a separate elective subject, please include this in everything that you do. It will improve your learning. It will improve the learning abilities of the children, and they'll also get a gist of how to be problem solvers, which is a very important thing. So, if you don't want to take this up as a separate subject, we are also trying to come out with a, manual which will help you actually implement design thinking, let's say for teaching mathematics or history or language, So that's something is our intention, because the thinking process and critical thinking are very essential skills, So that's an option. This is just to answer the question by Saundar Valli. Yeah. Yeah, there's another question which says, do you need separate periods for it? Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Like any other subject, you need that. Will I be able to submit my project? Yeah. Again, I've answered this question. If it is a design thinking project, yes, you can submit it in the portal. Yes, definitely. Yes. I think that's it, Dr. Ellen.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think. Thank you, sir. I thank Professor Ravi Poovaiah, sir, for leading us in this program successfully, tirelessly for past 2 years. Ravi Poovaiah, sir, Rupa ma'am, Hairsh sir, and Rupa Agarwal ma'am, Prajakta, so many are other, Dr. Abejari sir, and RP Singh from CBSE. So there are past 2 years, Ravi Poovaiah, sir, say. With a lot of tedious effort is gone in, and patiently is guiding us in implementing this program.
No,
We are happy to see that.
Dr. Ellen, it
Yes,
was
sir.
a very, very nice team effort,
Great.
and
Good.
all the team members made time every week
Yes,
to
yes.
put in the effort. So it has
I
been
agree,
a
sir.
very nice and wonderful experience. Yes.
I agree
Thanks to
with
all
that,
of
sir.
us.
Like, because it's like your 40 years experience had gone into this, because no, you are one of the unique or old student of design thinking, and I think very few had been doing design thinking during your days, and all your 40 years experience you have been implemented in developing this module. So we are all blessed, and I'm sure all the teachers would have been implement at their schools, sir. And from the lockdown time, Rupa ma'am, you all very with committed with all. You are all already engaged with other assignments. This is an extra work to you, but still without any hesitant or say like sparing your quality time and involving in the journey. So I'm also blessed and loved to be part of this and learning from you all. So thank you, Professor Ravi sir, and Rupa Chakraborty ma'am. You are always and different. Say like a role model for mainly I highlight that as an English teacher you are handling design thinking is a best practice. Many times I keep repeating, because all other teachers, this question is the standard question asked by every teacher, man. Who should handle this design thinking? So you are the one which I always highlighted for that. And Hairsh from Qatar, always a different time zone which he joins and does this program. I can see today we have 550 plus teachers joined for the program, sir. Still now there are 420 teachers who are still there, and in each schools I have been seen in the auditorium, in the boardrooms, 20-30 teachers are sitting and they are listening to this. This shows that there is we are in the right path and right progress which has been made, and many teachers are very keen in implementing, and many schools are involved in this. Assure this course not alone as a routine skill subject, it's going to make change in the student's life. the skill, whatever we are going to do through this design thinking, is going to be a revolutionary change in their total system, which will make them to learn the other subjects also in a different way, in a different best practice, which I can say. So with this small brief note, I thank all the teachers for sparing your Saturday 2 hour 45 minutes patiently. So you all joined at 9:50, 10 o'clock. Now it's 12:45 on a Saturday joining. That shows the commitment from you all and being throughout the session. Thank you, Rupa ma'am and Ravi sir, once again for listening to, for addressing and patiently addressing all the questions which raised by the teachers. And because that gives lot of confidence to the teachers in implementing, sir. Because many teachers raise the question to us, they have lot of doubts, which makes them whether how can we proceed further in the next stage. So I'm sure all those doubts has been clarified, and teachers, you will take this positively and implement at your school level. Thank you once again. Thank you all for sparing your time, and I thank my backend team, Mr. Rahul, who is supporting at the portal development part, and Pooja, Sonal, and Ms. Seema for being part of this program. Thank you once again. Thank you all for this program joining. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. Very goodbye to all of you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye and thank you.